Hello and welcome to the preview of racing at Randwick, Doncaster Derby Day. It looks a ripper. Mark Lambourne, Brent Zaruffa, hello there.
How you going, Dallas? So, Mark, it's been a while since I've been in the chair here.
Yeah, it feels ages, doesn't it?
It's good to be back anyway. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the big day. Rail true, genuine Randwick, get away from the inside. That's the pattern.
What are we saying with the weather, Mark? They've been saying negative readings all week, a heavy sort of 8-ish or thereabouts, soft something or whatever it is today. As we just adjust the camera, what are we saying about the track surface? Which I should say I'll be out there looking on the track with Aaron after this, probably up at the same time as this as well too.
Yeah, well, they'll want to say 6, it'll be 4.
4 to 5 is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Give out, not rock hard, which I think there's a couple of horses there that do want rock hard, but won't be that, but it'll be... So that should see that 8 metre lane really, really on fire then, shouldn't it?
Yeah, although if you produce the same track with the hose, it would that 8 metre lane would be would be more dramatic. But certainly, you'll be getting that effect, that conveyor belt effect down that lane there.
Perfect. All right, Randwick running line, looking at the goods inside alleys to be avoided. You mentioned hose, the marketing campaign for this week, BZ, with the PWA, punters with attitude, hose and bitches, you get your niggers involved.
All the boys have had a little bit of a spruce up in the last couple of days.
So if you haven't seen it, that's the big spruik for the carnival is just jump on board with some of the big products. We've got the best team you can get anywhere in the public with Mark Lambourne, Steve Fletcher, Vince Accardi, John Walder, and of course the Glenster, Glenn Pollitt. The team is great. Pick a product, pick your poison, jump online. There's a bit of a blurb on it for taking the piss out of NWA, which looks great.
It's very impressive, Darren. I can see why you're so excited about it. And isn't it an amazing program to have a tournament on?
It is.
Big tournament. It is just the bee's knees.
And that's the other big spruik, boys, is that it is, okay, jump on board with a big product, but also the tournament, $250,000 minimum on offer over the next 2 weeks. Playing in Sydney, playing in Melbourne. Just got to get involved, BZ.
Yeah, well, I've got I'm captaining a team.
Yep.
Got a few little disciples in there following me around on Saturday, but look, the way I'm going to be playing it, I think there's enough races in Sydney that I'm not even basically going to look at Melbourne. Like, I don't know.
Play to your strength.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing in Melbourne, so I'll stick to Sydney and hopefully we can find a result there.
With due respect to your future employers at Racing.com.
Yeah. Well,
he's just not up to speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I'm not up to speed with the form there at the moment, so that's just the reality of it.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lie. So.
But anyway, the logistics of it are $1,000 in, $1,100 in gets you your ticket. The prize money will be probably paid down to about 30. Have yourself some rebuys. Get some mates together, whatever. Have a day on the punt on Doncaster Day, but also go in this tournament. You'll have a tremendous amount of fun doing it, and you're giving yourself a chance of winning 100, and if not 10, 20, whatever it will be for the minor placings.
Certainly plenty of good carrots there away from the big one, the 100,000. So.
Yep.
Look, I'll be having to throw up the stumps and I'm hoping I can get a result.
For more on it, just go to the site. There's articles all over the place about how Kingsley's done. You've got to see Glenn's rev up talk, the Gus Gould.
It is completely
As Fletcher texted me, he said 10 out of 10. Why is Rove on TV and Glenn not?
It's true.
He's just awesome. So if you haven't seen that, check it out.
I think he'd be even more effective not talking about non-racing topics.
Oh yeah. Well, we've seen that. We've
commercial
seen
networks on us. That's his main attraction.
Al Jazeera TV for the Glenn stuff. Anyway. You know what they're all about. We've been speaking about them for ages. It's the biggest one of all time, and just get involved, get in the game, as we say. Getting in the game for the first at Randwick is the Kindergarten Stakes over 1,100 metres. Stern and El Divino are in a battle for favouritism ahead of Lionhearted and Mush Cashier, or whatever it is. Yeah, speaking about Al Jazeera TV. Mark.
Wow, look, it's an interesting race to kick off with because we've got Winks' little brother here, and he won on a rail-out day at Gosford in pretty atrocious figures, and they want to say favourite. So anyway, he's part of the van, and it'll be interesting to see if there'll be some sort of intent to ride Stern off the pace after getting burnt up on the speed in the slipper. Obviously Lionhearted will be part of the fray, and Genito sticking a bib in along the inside, Mushakissa being on or just off the speed.
Astern, BZ, what are you saying?
Seems quite an odd placement to me, because just watching the slipper and the fallout, I thought, well, Astern will go for a break. Godolphin doesn't need to really push the button with him another time, but yeah, I find it interesting to see that he is
in a kindergarten stakes. I know it's worth a
Furnaces did the
similar thing last year. I
I
suppose.
suppose you can. I mean, he's only had the one run leading in the slipper, but it's
So-
not. I'd imagine he's marked as a stallion, and it's not exactly a stallion making
No,
weight.
but the fact that he is here makes me then respect him. So because I thought it would have been okay, disappointing run turnout, but the fact that he's here, I'm respecting him. I'd have him on top of El Divino, who I agree with Mark probably was a touch flattered by the conditions on debut, but it doesn't
couldn't
look
write
to
a ticket for the runner-up. I know he got beaten a long way. Couldn't write a ticket on Wednesday for him.
Yeah, so
There's
I don't
good
think there's a
instruction.
lot of depth to this race. If Astern turns up in the form that he had prior to the Golden Slipper when he won the Silver Slipper, he wins.
Yep, I think El Divino with those average numbers and the type of win that you want to oppose coming from the provincial, from the Central Coast tracks, isn't an on-pace win, rail out, good as gold, fantastic. I think it's making Astern a terrific price. It had the awful John O'Shea preparation of a month off into the slipper. It was just terrible, and then compounded by the wide gate, which is just not going to work under those circumstances. It went to the
have a
front.
setback.
Yeah,
He wasn't meant to run into the top.
exactly right. But I mean, that was the fact of the matter, and it's gone out wide. He's gone to the front. Nothing wins. Or very rarely can you go well from the front in the slipper, and that's when you're rock hard fit. Obviously, it wasn't. It's just better than him, and it's set weights. VZ.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
Drawn the perfect draw. It's got James
1100.
McDonald, and it's not a major race on a major day. That's John O'Shea all over.
Yeah,
Thank you. $2.50 if the horse is right,
$2.70.
and the horse still can parade better too.
Well, if El Divino wasn't Winx's little brother, I don't think he'd be as.
I think that's exactly the
I think that's
point.
been factored into the
and I
price,
think
which is irrelevant.
the hype tax that people are paying for that are helping us with Astern.
Yeah, the other thing is that he's got a running style there that you not necessarily want to be carrying into tomorrow.
No.
But anyway, like we've rubbished him enough. Lionhearted is one of those horses that presents well enough in this race with Bowman getting on board, and can be some danger if the top one's going to fall over.
Mm-hmm. All right, but you said even money Astern, and I think that's probably about the price we're all happy.
Look, I'm not a big play in this race because I don't like backing horses off what looks a below par run, sort of their next start. But he picks himself in my opinion.
Beautiful. That's race 1. Race 2, the Carbine Club Stakes. Over the mile sees an interesting field. Interesting. Data point favourite ahead of Odyssey Moon, making you be interested to see Odyssey Moon coming back here, Mark. At least he has got Sydney form for you.
Last sighted in the Champagne.
Yeah, that was
Before that, the size. Pasadena Girl, she won since.
No, what about
Pride
the
of
third place
Dubai?
getter? Who was the third? I was interested in the third place getter's name because he's gone on to great things.
In
Isn't
the Champagne.
he? Champagne, you got that. Anyway, we're digressing, and our Rocky are the other one in the
Bjorn's
market.
horse nearly won a Champagne too. What was his
I know. Don't worry, I was on for
Don't worry,
plenty
the great Guelph.
Yeah.
Wounded him
I
up.
know, God bless it. Okay, all right, Mark. Who leads them out?
Well, this is just another of these. We've got sort of 2 races without a lead up. This race and the last race. There's that they're a bit sort of fickle. Odyssey Moon I have leading comfortably from Moore, and
Do your best.
yeah. What is the story with the Waller booking of Opie Boston? I wonder if he had organised Williams and needed to scramble.
Yeah, I'm not
Is that
sure.
possible?
I really don't understand. I've got no information, so I couldn't sort of say.
Anyway, all right. Okay, so what are we saying? Where do we start? Data Point, I suppose, is the favourite. I liked it in its previous whatever the race was. It was
Randwick Guineas.
Randwick Guineas.
$1 million race.
Yeah, and I suppose I was a little bit disappointed with the run, but it was. Then you look back and say it's probably not all that bad, and it was coming off what was probably a potential gut-busting run too. First run in Sydney, month off between runs. It has had the run at the mile, month off not ideal, but it's Mick Kent. That type of shit works for Mick Kent. Fine with me. Data Point, I think.
When I first looked at the form, I went Randwick Guineas, back to what looks to be only a fair Carbine Club Stakes, picks us up. But then I watched the run and I wasn't completely enthused by the way it hit the line. I thought it just was just there and ran 6th or whatever it finished because it was there.
Yeah,
It never really.
No, I think you're right.
It never really wound up. So that's
I
why
agree. I agree with that, but I'm also I'm willing to forgive it.
But then I started looking at its Melbourne form, and its Melbourne runs are okay. But I thought He's Our Rocky had similar form in Melbourne. I thought its run against the older horses on, the 3-year-olds there when it had the big weight with the claim last time was good. Just got a little bit flat-footed, and I just keep going back to its Carbine Club run at Flemington last year, where it finished behind the Hooter and was really attacking the line quite strong, where it was a disadvantage for that pattern on the day. And I'm thinking he's probably got the form that I want to be on of a horse in this race. So I've left with He's Our Rocky.
No.
Ahead of Data Point,
Yep.
but not a lot of confidence.
Lightly raced, Hugh Bowman, right draw, Data Point. Mark, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm saying Data Point, but I mean, you know, your point about substance may come back to bite him. I didn't see too many places to go here. Maybe there are no places to go.
Yeah, there's a couple there that are a bit yuck, aren't they? Anyway. Data
Yeah,
Point.
Fatouche interested me with blinkers on, and gun coming, you know, with the quick backup, but he's been to 2000, which.
Anyway, all right, okay, that's race 2. That's about where we're at. Race 3 is the Chairman's Handicap, 2,600 metres, which is obviously a key point to it. Libran, who's progressed very well this preparation, is the favourite ahead of Destiny's Kiss. Probably a lot of that is factored in for a heavy track, isn't it, on the current market?
Maybe, although he does come out of a $350,000 race.
Mm-hmm.
Where Sir John Hawkwood and Messine acquitted themselves very well against it somewhat last week. So
No, fair point. And Cafe Society, next one with your mate Dick and Ouvray. Talk about horses coming off in zero.
Who's that?
Ouvray.
Yeah, but look, he was second up off a very, very long spell, and that Rose Hill track, it really wasn't very kind to horses that got out wide on the track. You know, it was suck up and suck up and suck up everywhere you looked.
Rose Hill.
Well, it's not always.
I want to throw up a pearl though. I want to throw up a pearl that the myth that Randwick is so much tougher than Rose Hill is a myth. I think Randwick is tough when it plays under certain conditions, a lot to do with the breeze. I think Rose Hill might be a tougher track, and it might be a myth buster that we could have a look at. More tight turns, especially over the shorter distance. Randwick's a lot of dog legs and one leg turn.
Yeah.
I think Randwick appears to play tough a lot of the time because we look at it in the context of this meeting, which is often rail true, so the leaders have got no chance because they're on the fence, and often it's running into a breeze. I think Randwick can actually be quite benign when the conditions don't make it that way, and Rose Hill might be tougher. Anyway, food for thought.
So Dallas is looking for horses that didn't have quite the right run at Rose Hill, which is not a bad angle. So you know what you see is what you get with Libran. He's going along nicely. DIC was scratched from that race a fortnight ago, and subsequently means it comes into a race here first up.
Yeah.
Which is a bit tragic. And then you've got the awkward situation of O'Shea just having a bit of a throw at the stumps. Oh, let Allegria, we're just,
Plus 700 doesn't work for Johnny, I'm sorry. I will often get egg on my face when I say that about Johnny, but there's a lot of times when I say that about Johnny that I'm right, Mark. Correct? Yes.
Yeah. No, you've got him fairly well nailed. Anything from you here, BZ?
You got to respect Libran, but he's not the type of horse that I'd want to be taking short odds about in this race, given the fact that he's got a grand final 7 days later worth $2 million, where he's going to drop from 58 to 52 kilos and be better suited in a Sydney Cup. That's not to say that he can't win. It's just that I don't find him any value from the betting proposition this week. Cafe Society gets some weight relief, and I'd imagine would continue to improve up in distance with another run under its belt. Now it's had 3 runs this campaign.
Well, just cutting in there, what are we saying? It's probably the first time that you'd say, okay, well, it's done well.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we saying, okay, well, now it might be time to...
It only got beaten 2 lengths, now drops to the minimum, and Libran goes to the maximum weight. So the handicap weights and measures to me says Cafe Society can get closer to Libran. Whether it can turn the tables, I'm not sure.
Are you seeing this as a bit of a fulcrum in the career of Cafe Society last week?
Yeah, it was just time to back him tomorrow.
Yep. Okay.
But I mean, they didn't give anything away when they put him up.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's sort of like you got to take $6.
It's like I did the race and I went, oh, is that all?
Yeah, exactly. The horse, $6 about a horse that's done one thing since it's been in Australia.
And you got to beat a horse that's going pretty well. That's so that you got to factor that into it as well.
And that's right. You got to beat Waller at the staying trip.
Yeah. Outside of Waller, we mentioned Ouvray. Is it just? I
thought, like this horse could probably have zero chance. Not zero chance, but I thought High Opinion. I had 100 to 1. Shouldn't be that price. Combo, yeah. Well, no, the fact that it runs second to Tom Melbourne in the Albury Cup, I think Tom Melbourne's a pretty progressive horse.
Yeah.
Like Tom Melbourne probably should have won by further. But why is Supercoach $15, who's coming out of average benchmark 72 races
It's
on
$3,
a
yeah.
Wednesday, on a Monday at Warwick Farm, it's $15.
Mm.
And you got a horse who's coming out of a listed event on the improve at 100 to 1. I thought, I don't know which one's right and which one's wrong. Maybe Supercoach is wrong and it should be
Yeah.
hundreds. But
33 to 2.
I didn't think it should be that much discrepancy in the market.
What are you saying, Mark?
Look, I'm
You're pretty much market, huh? Just looking at that.
yeah.
Yeah, there they are. There it is, yeah. Just the only point I make about Libran, hasn't really paraded great the last few starts. It was better last start than it had been, so there's still improvement in, a little bit of improvements, ticking over fitness-wise, typical Waller, but behaviourally you can find a couple of links. So if it does that, it's game over. Right, Mounting Yard Mail, how do you breathe without it? That's race 3. Race 4, the Country Championships final. Now, what you can't breathe without with this, and Aaron's going to have a story up soon, or probably when you're looking at it, is Johnny Walter. Johnny Walter has just about got every highway race right. This is John Walter's grand final.
Well, that's his go. Like he knows these horses back to front. So if you're looking to bet in the provincial lead-ups, the country lead-ups, the highway races, the finals, he's your man.
He's exactly John Walter, and John's been flying a late $20 service, all that sort of stuff. Part of the PWA, Punters with Attitude, straight out of Randwick.
Dr. JW.
Dr. JW, isn't he? That's right, with the female glasses on too. He was happy about that. Anyway, check it out. $4. Well, Lofty's Menu, second pick from Clearly Innocent. They are the two that most people are talking about with Para and also along the next line.
Wow, I realise that this horse has been impressive out wide, but I mean, what is he? 4 wins at Scone and a win at Mudgee, and Gate 2, and his 2 highway runs were meh. One very unlucky in the first one, and then meh in the second one.
I cheated here because I looked at the form. BZ. It's no surprise to see Mark Lofty's Menu favourite. It's the one that has got a proper city run. It's got the right draw with the right rider. Simple as that. Bang. The
Ticks all the boxes, drawn a wide gate.
Picks itself, doesn't it?
I'm in the camp of Clearly Innocent because I like the upside that he does have. I thought his 2 wins at Scone were quite arrogant, and I think the Scone and Goulburn qualifiers are clearly the 2.
Absolutely.
The rest I think are just making up the numbers.
There's a really bad one at Dubbo.
That's what I mean. So if you're looking at doing the form for this race, watch the Scone heat, watch the Goulburn heat, pick your winner from that. The rest I think are making up the numbers. Good luck to the connections and everyone having a throw at the stumps. I've got nothing wrong with the principle of this series, but I think the horses at Scone and Goulburn are clearly superior. I think
the point there, Brett, is that out of a field of 16 that'll run, it was very easy just to brass go a hell of a lot of them.
Big time. I've got two chances.
Yep.
And the market's got that.
And then the 2 peripheral ones are the ones that the market have got next, aren't they?
I don't even know if they are. Like, I honestly think Clearly Innocent, if he can get away from the inside and find some clear galloping room, he's going to be very hard to beat. And Lofty's Menu is the obvious
danger.
Country horse with city form.
I'm Lofty's Menu, Clearly Innocent. Mark, you're Lofty's Menu, Clearly Innocent.
I'm Lofty's Menu, Para.
That's the next one for me, too. Hugh Bowman, Wide Gate, all that.
Well, look, I just see Gate 2 in a 16 horse field. It's curtains.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, I suppose I'm using the fact that his highway runs were far below what we've seen from him at home at Scone.
All right.
But anyway, I mean, he can obviously get away with it. But I think to try $2.50 to find out seems a bit suicidal.
Rightio. Wasn't suicidal last week? It would have been suicidal if you didn't get it. If you dropped out recently, with the $10 there, they are. What about our little beauty? The best of the punters show from around the
I
world.
couldn't believe it.
Started off. First bet of the day was keep calling it Ambience. What's his name? The thing of Snowden's that one with Blake Shin on it.
Yeah,
Attention.
Attention. Thank you.
It's in
20 to 1. I know it's in tomorrow, but I'd be calling it Ambience for the right. 20 to 1 winner there. Finished off with the Havana Cooler. Winners all throughout. I think Randwick was a clean sheet, or Rosehill was a clean sheet. 5 or 6 bets there. 3 winners, 3 chop outs. Went to Melbourne, 3 from 4 there. It was a 400% profit on turnover. If you had, what did we say? Was it $50 on every one? You've made $2,200 for the day. So it was just enormous for there they are. It's $10 a week. It's the best in the punters show. It's sensational value. You get about 12 tips or thereabouts on a Saturday morning, Mark. It's been a little trier for a long time. And about 10% profit on turnover the whole way through.
Dallas?
Yeah.
There they are.
There it is. Jump on board with that as we head into the PJ Bell Stakes over 1,200 metres. And Egyptian symbol for Björn. is the favourite ahead of his stablemate thereabouts, and which is Lady Sniper. Super Cash is in the mix, as is Secret Agenda, as is Perignon.
Wow. Deep race. 18 runners around the 1200 metres at Randwick.
Yes, Mark, who leads them out?
Well, I had Secret Agenda in the van. Lady Zhivago's pretty fresh, pushing up along the inside. Regatta Rebel on speed. Tempt Me Not looking for cover. Super Cash not far away, the Moon Plate winner. And No More Tears, the Kiwi, has some pace to park on a limb there.
All right, you go, BT.
I like Lady Sniper as a horse. I had something on her first up, and then she went enormous at Gosford. At big odds, beating the boys in the Gosford Guineas. Off a hot speed, was a patient ride by Jason Collett, cut the corner, and when she let go, she made up 3 or 4 lengths in very good time. I'd imagine her racing style is going to be suited to the way this is going to pan out. Big field, get away from the inside, looking for something charging down the outside. The stablemate Egyptian Symbol probably fits that as well. I thought she was good when beaten by Southern Legend last start in the Derby Munro. Perignon, Can't Knock. They were the 3 I sort of was looking to be on here.
Yeah, the place getters from the 3-year-old race, the Derby Munro. I mean, they present well here. They did, they had perfect runs at Rose Hill. It's I find it a bit vexing, like just coming up with those horses that had opportunity, didn't seem to fit the race again, but it's like there's no edge there. There's no zinger.
Yeah,
So,
especially when the price is next to the name.
So I went looking for something else, which was Tempt Me Not.
Yep, good work.
Golden Switch, nailed to the inside there on a normal rail behind Red Zell, and trial since. The first up run was indicative of this race, so certainly you wouldn't want to see it. I wouldn't want to see her sit outside the lead. He needs to perhaps get some cover.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
But anyway, she's going to be 20s to find out.
All right, yeah, exactly. I'm Bjorn's to Lady Sniper and Egyptian Symbol, leading to Egyptian Symbol, but I reckon my best result in the race will be on Tempt Me Not. I think it's the one who's probably longer. I've got Egyptian Symbol favourite from Lady Sniper from Tempt Me Not, which means that Tempt Me Not I've got a much better price than 20 to 1 or thereabouts that's on offer.
So what do we say about these shippers? I mean, Secret Agenda has some sort of profile down south, and the horse that beats Saboog down the straight, Super Cash.
Well, the run of Super Cash at Moonee Valley I thought was quite strong behind Almighty Girl, who
Secret Agenda and second
come out in that same race, yeah. So that form does look to be quite strong. You even go back, she runs second to Petite Falou, even prior to that, September last year, Super Cash. So she's got some handy 3-year-old fillies form out of Melbourne. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to line them up where they fit in, and that's where this race is giving me quite a headache, because big field is going to need an element of luck at some point. The fact that they're here, I think I'm going to respect them, but I don't know if I can back them, because I don't really know what I'm going to get.
Yeah, neither of them is politeness, is it? Politeness on this race. In similar, legal.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to walk away from this race if they win and go, oh, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
No, exactly.
That's why I'm sticking to what I know, but only really small Lady Sniper will probably win.
All right, lovely. Okay, we're in a bit of agreement there. Moving on to the Sires Produce Stakes, the first of our Group 1 shares, the first of our Group 1s. Favourite at the moment, or battling out for favouritism, Tel Perion and Yankee Rose, ahead of Oh My Sword and then Seaburge and Good Standing. Marcus, what do they do for one of our favourite, the first of our doubles? We're talking about immortality for these horses.
Well, they're going to 1400 most of these for the first time, some of them not, but Detective will obviously be on speed, acquitted himself quite well at Flemington under those circumstances. Good Standing may find himself pushing forward. Other than that,
Attention to the end.
he went wide, he went forward for a wide draw the other day. He's drawn 1 here, so that's like there won't be any urgency. But I mean, they're always faster than you think, these races. One of the
I suppose, rules that we have with Vince when we're looking at these races. As soon as the 2-year-olds jump up in distance, whilst it doesn't appear to any pace, they don't have the ability or the experience to control themselves. So they will run as fast as they run in 1200 metre races, which means that it's normally a couple of lengths above what the average would be for a 1400 metre race. So there normally is tempo. You err on that side of it. Not always the case, but normally. Nothing's absolute.
I couldn't help but be overwhelmed by Telperion's run in the slipper. I mean, when you consider that
That was fantastic.
the horses, they basically finished in barrier order.
Yeah.
You know, the wider you drew, the further back you finished.
Yep.
So Telperion with
Jay Doyle,
our good man from overseas.
yeah.
You know, he went back.
It's not the race to bring an overseas rider. Maybe the staying races and all that, but for the slipper around Rosehill, around the source, and that wrong place for anybody who hasn't got experience in that.
Yeah. So look, he turned up at Rosehill after finding his feet at Randwick, and comes back here with J Mac and his second start of blinkers, and you know, I realised that he didn't start the shortest in the slipper, which is a small concern, but his run was better than Yankee Rose's in my opinion, because he had so much go against him, whereas Yankee Rose was, you know, she was there, she was at Rosehill, she was wound up, she was blinkers on, she did well, but she started the same odds.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yankee Rose had the perfect opportunity to show her best,
Yeah.
whereas Telperion had so many negatives, and you just don't see horses in a golden slipper weaving like a...
Drunken sailor.
Yeah, it was just like this the whole way up the straight, and still making significant ground at every bound.
Every
The fact
left
that he
foot
gets
step.
McDonald on, draws barrier 4, I don't think he's going to be that far back at a 1400 metre tempo here. Blinkers, and he's got a good grounding, whereas even speaking with David Van Dyke this morning, he does have some reservation that Yankee Rose second up may be a touch vulnerable, because she was there first up, second up, and he said the race he's targeting is the Champagne Stakes. That's the race he feels she's...
Well, 14, 16.
All right,
yeah.
so you know, let's talk through that. It's like he knows what he's doing to prepare her first up.
Yeah.
But then when she runs well,
Yeah.
what does he do on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or whatever? Like
Well, he said
Stab yourself.
No, but he said he was of the opinion that for her to be competitive at 1200 metres in a golden slipper, she needed to be super fresh.
Yeah.
Because he said if I had the run in her, she wouldn't have had the same acceleration required to hit the line. That's like, I'm no opinion. That's just what
My only point on that is Gabe Waterhouse wouldn't have done it.
No, and then look, that's an argument for another day, really.
Anyway,
but the point I'm really trying to make is that he knows what he's doing with Yankee Rose. He works a Tuesday, Thursday, into the slipper. She runs second, and he goes, "Oh, you're a good girl. You can have tomorrow.
You can have the week
you know?
tomorrow off. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The game changes.
Yes, fair call.
But you know, the horse that we're touting here is the blue colours in the major. That's
Oh, but it's a semi-major. Semi-majors are fine.
it's still $1 million race.
Yeah.
But they've been going all right the last couple of weeks. Like I think it's.
GFs.
Yeah, I'm happy to be.
Okay,
I'm happy to be
you know.
Telperion here. I think he should be. Yeah, very hard to hold out in this race.
And Oh My Sword is sticking in there as the DF.
Well, I'll come and talk about that because I'm going two other ways to that. Telperion, I think Telperion's great thing is he's just such a professional. He's raced like a professional. He didn't have a professional slipper rider on him the other day, but the way he parades and does all that, he's sort of almost a perfect size horse in that is the type of horse that can win this sort of race. Yeah, brilliance is gone. The good horses have been probably busted up in the slipper a bit. Professional comes in, does it. Hard to beat.
And his only fault was on a 6 metre rail Randwick when they went back and were virtually just so negative that it was almost like a barrier trial.
Yeah, exactly. Good standing. So sometimes you realise when you get into a race and you see it just wasn't the right race for it. The slipper wasn't the right race for it. It came in with very attractive form, I believe. It's still a very good horse. It is one of the horses I would prefer on bone dry. Okay. Definitely that. But have to forgive it with the perfect draw and Hugh Bowman on board. But Oh My Sword is the one that's coming through with a different form. Question marks on the overall strength of the 2-year-old form this year. Different form. Chris Waller. Point Nick Ashman made was discussing with on the way here. Chris isn't a noted 2-year-old trainer, we know that, but we'd like to see the the record written down about Chris Roller's results, especially post Golden Slipper in these stakes races when he starts them. He wouldn't have many runners. I reckon he's
You're talking about the JJ Atkins.
Oh, well, post Slipper, even before Slipper, when he runs them in stakes races, they're probably performing better than their SP. So I think Beat Preble, obviously inside draw a bit of a worry. Not as much in a race like this because they sort of tend to get room and get out and do what they have to do, and Brett Preble will know what to do. Yeah, so I mow my sword from good standing until Perry on.
Very good.
All right. Derby. Before that, the $20 products. We spoke about the $10 products. How good are the $20 products?
Better and better and better and
DK
better.
and Potts, they had 4 from 5 winners on Thursday.
Yes.
And the 5th horse was an each way bet that ran 2nd or 3rd at $3.50 the place. So
yep.
You've showed a profit in all 5 bets. And Johnny Walter found Rustic Melody.
Yep.
$7.
Lovely. And how's your $20 one going, Mark?
Very good, Dallas.
Lovely. Plenty of winners there.
Hard competition to measure up against.
Yeah, that's lovely. But what you get with Mark's $20 ones are his 1, 2, 3, 4 selections in every race, at every city meeting and every provincial meeting. So it's a thorough, if you just want to be betting on those days,
you 4 or 5 meetings a week.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting it for a few bucks a meeting, which is just sensational value. A couple of bucks a meeting probably, but sensational value with Mark's stuff. And of course the other one is Fletch. Of course, Fletch, $20. Bit of a down period the last couple of weeks.
Monday he found 3
Thank
winners.
God, he's not allowed to tip.
No, that's right.
He's not allowed to tip the card each.
Probably.
He had 3 winners in Australia on Monday, and the 2 Hong Kong ones went no good. But that was Monday. I didn't see the results Wednesday.
I can't remember what Wednesday was.
I think he had a couple out wide. They got beat at Strathallan.
Okay. Anyway, whatever the case is, if you're following Fletch's $20 service over time, you will win. So there's no dramas there. Fletch, John Walter, Mark Lambourne, DK and Potts, $20. Very good value. Derby, brought to you by BMW. Tarzino, even money-ish.
It's only just because it's a shade of odds on the fair.
Is it? Okay, all right.
Yeah, they were looking to take odds on Thursday night. Well, just 205. I think they were looking to take on the fair Thursday night.
All right, there you go. Tally is $6. Well, Tally and Jamaica next pick, and Vanbrugh following them.
Yeah, so going to 2400. I mean, I have Jamaica leading. I don't know if that's the intention. And Gold Ambition pushing across to second. Tarzino looks to lob into a 1-out 1-back position, which looks all right. Rosal Guinea winners into the Derby. There's only been 2 out of the last 10. It's a done deal. It's a done deal, and Criterion.
Sorry, is it 2 out of the last 5 then?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that of the last 10, there's only been 2. But they have been the 2 horses that have won by some sort of margin in the Rosal Guineas.
And probably SP strongly as well too, hasn't it?
Yeah. Look, there's I'm keen to take on Tarzino tomorrow, but maybe
I'm in the same position here. When you were talking about Rosehill positioning on that day, you mentioned it was every horse who sort of was leader back on the fence.
Yeah, right. So good run.
Exactly, was so advantaged, and Tarzino did a good job, but he had everything go his way in the Rosehill Guineas. So going to Saturday, he looks as though we've seen him in the spring distance, no issue, going to a mile and a half, and he's only had 3 runs this campaign, so you'd imagine there's still something left in the tank. But to take that shorter price, I would have liked to see him put 3 lengths on the field in the Rosehill Guineas. Whereas a horse like Tally, he destroyed Palantino, the Guineas winner, in the Alistair Clark, and I'd rather take him about $2.20 or $2 the place than Tarzino the win. If I'm matching the same prices, a 50% probability, I'm looking at Tally to run a place more than Tarzino to win. I find that better value. So I'm not bagging Tarzino's as a horse.
Price.
I'm just bagging his price. I think his records shows that he's probably the best stayer in the race, but I don't want to take even money to find it.
All right, Mark, you're a bit against this one, too?
Yeah, well, I thought Jamaica did a bit of work in the lead up, and I'm enamoured of her now. I also think that Tally's got a head of steam up that will carry him a long way here. He wasn't seasoned enough when he was in the. Did he run in the Bays?
The Vars, and he got beat 3.5 lengths, and he was off the pace on a leader biased track.
Yeah,
Tarzino
of course,
was a lot more
Tarzino
screwed.
and Jamaica were in that race.
Exactly.
along with poor old Shards, who hasn't made it to the Derby.
Nope.
What else do I want to mention? Look, the Kiwis turn up here with a lot better Derby runs than the Kiwi did last week. What's the story in Tobago? They seem to have been heavily discounted. And the other thing I want to mention is that Oso Splendido was one of the most disgraceful rides I've ever seen in the Guineas.
Mm-hmm.
And at $201, I expect him to run above his price tomorrow.
Haven't mentioned Vanbrugh, boys. You mentioned about the tough runs at Rose Hill, back wide, 3 wide throughout.
He's the horse that
plugging on.
He's the horse that can definitely improve from the Rose Hill.
And ran into it. Still needed to be screwed down. The little Chris Waller mid-race move that brings him on. Hugh Bowman on board. $10. Back here.
Dallas is sounding very excited.
Great
Back
team,
here.
great
Oh, I think it got me last time in the Swing Championship. I'm still not sure, 100% sure of the 2,400 metres, and what worries me is I know that they were sort of half thinking Doncaster, well, I got told that they were half thinking Doncasters earlier on, but that might have changed. Chris Waller, when he gets...
Well, I don't know why they were thinking Doncasters.
No, well, they didn't...
Like, he didn't look any good until he got to 1,800 at the
No,
moment.
that's
And looking at those 2 races, he beat Tatouche Man of Choice on Bellucci Man of Choice.
Yeah. Not much,
They'd
but...
be 25 to 50 to 1 chances in the Derby, wouldn't they?
Probably, but he beat him. I think he's progressive. I think he's got the right lead up.
He had to carry Glenn.
And yeah, he's got Hubert, and I think he back him.
Oh, and he's got a sense of
Timing.
Sense of
timing, and it's Chris Waller.
He's had no luck in his last 2 runs. He's
No.
been beaten 3.5 and 3.5 by Tarzino.
Yeah.
There's definitely at least a couple of lengths improvement in the horse, and with even luck going up in distance, that he could bring back that margin.
And I'd say, as far as condition goes, Vanbragh's got more. Both will be right at their peaks tomorrow, but Vanbrugh will probably gain an extra length in that as well.
That's a little bit more to my argument that I couldn't take even money about Tarzino.
The way that I want to handle it is back Vanbrugh, so either back Vanbrugh each way or back Vanbrugh and save on Tarzino, and I don't think he'll be losing on the race.
I'm going to be backing Tally and then double staking.
And Tally, and I
backing
totally
Tally
respect.
and double staking my place at the $2
Yep.
or whatever.
No, nothing wrong with that. Beautiful. All right, TJ Smith Stakes, 1,200 metres. Exosphere is favourite ahead of Chautauqua, and Old Mate English and is the next, and that's about it under double figures.
So the market's all about reputations, isn't it?
This is a great race.
It is a great race. It doesn't look anything like the race that what's our Master of Design one a few years ago.
Jeez, they've turned this
That
race
was
around, haven't they?
pre the championship.
Wow.
Well, of course, this is the race that Black Caviar, turned up for twice, and Lankan Rupee when he was at the top of his game, and then we saw Chautauqua mow down Lord of the Sky last year.
Yeah.
Terra Vista ran favourite in the race, and he won't be running favourite in this year's event. Exosphere returns to the scene of his demolition of Japanise Me on Epsom Day.
Brian Crowley Stakes.
Anyway, so many races, it's hard to find a map here. Yeah, so the 1,100 metre horse is going to 1,200 supply the speed. I speak of Flamberge and Fell Swoop. Terra Vista not far away now. Our boy Malachi, I don't know if you can back this up, seemed to jump in his trial the other day.
Yeah.
For the first time ever.
So hit and miss this horse.
So have they worked some sort of magic here?
I'm not sure.
Because he hasn't jumped any other time.
I don't know if at 7 years of age you can.
No, but
it doesn't change his spots much. That's the.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had a sore spot every time he was in the gates.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Anyway, he's going to be part of the van because he's shown an indication that he'll get out sweetly. An indication. Lots of evidence to say he won't, but so yeah, there's basically 5 horses that'll be on speed here in the leading bracket, and the map does appear to leave Exosphere last on the inside.
Not a good spot.
Well, Chautauqua on his outside.
Does he have the ability to pop out?
Look, he's got 3 horses drawn underneath him, and somehow he may be able to use them.
It is J-Mac.
And it is J-Mac. Look, there's a lot to like about Exosphere in this race. The fact that he's had problems down the straight twice. one an horrendously biased track and the other where it was the rider took well, he used the wrong track.
Yeah. It's like going to the airport and you're walking and then someone gets that.
Gets the conveyor belt.
They get the what are those walking the travelators, and then
yeah.
they're walking and they just go.
Yeah.
That's what Flemington like is down the straight.
Yeah. All right, so that's
Just got to watch out. There's a big family of Polynesians in front of you going nowhere.
That's Exosphere. Obvious explanations. Back to the scene of the crime. Slightly tricky draw. What of Chautauqua? What do we?
Oh, I thought I'm surprised that it isn't favourite. To be truthful, I thought it would have been favourite in front of Exosphere with the better setup. Again, I'd rather. It's not. Obviously the track's not going to be as bad as we mentioned, but Chautauqua better suited to the whatever the conditions are. We know it can handle a sting out. Exosphere, yeah, better draw.
Okay. The only trouble is, Dal, that he comes here not being beaten by Brazen Bow, but being beaten by Shitbags. What's his name?
Yeah, the quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
The quarterback.
He was giving them 6 kilos.
Yeah, look, Flemington straight
like
wins.
no. There's something weird going on with Chautauqua, like where he was unstoppable there for a while, and then he didn't quite win his grand final, the Dali.
Much.
Mm.
And then he came back, and he sort of fluked that 1,000-metre win first up. The lightning
he pinged.
Terra Vista sort of Ollie dropped the whip.
Yeah.
Exosphere's in the wrong part of the track, and Chautauqua was just sort of like I don't know. I thought he fluked it, and then he was never going to win the other day.
But
the way I'm seeing this race is Chautauqua, what we see is what you get. I don't think he's going to produce anything different tomorrow than what we haven't seen in the past. And the fact that he wins Group 1 races by small margins, he wins races by smaller margins, he gets the job done, but there seems to be, I think Exosphere has the potential to improve on what we've seen thus far. And what was his margin in the Lightning? It wasn't that far in the end.
No,
he was only at the end of the day, he was only beaten at 1.5 lengths. Factor in the negatives there.
That he was in a 6 lengths lower.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. So look, it's hard to measure, but
isn't that what the market's about as well?
Exactly, the market that's factored into the market. His barrier trial since superb. The tricky part is for me where he gets 2 from 4. If he can somewhat get out of the barriers, not be in a leading position, but midfield off the fence, I think he'll be. If he's in front of Chautauqua won't run him down. All right, I'm in the camp of Exosphere because I think he has more upside than most.
I'm Chautauqua, English and Exosphere. I don't know what to make of those lead-ups, but
they just don't fit.
They don't fit.
They're not top.
But if you sort of take the best run from it, I think she was probably the best run from it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and she's got an opportunity.
And maybe fell swoop.
She's got an opportunity there where you saw that Rose Hill where they paired out, and she ended up 12 lengths off them because they raced in pairs. Randwick tomorrow, there's no pairs.
No. You're on the right marble.
It's like club.
Yeah, exactly. And Blake on for Tommy.
Blake on for Tommy.
Big change. So I'm those two. Anyway, good luck. All right, well, we're gonna bypass the Doncaster because we're going to do it as a separate one next.
Who cares? It's a win to win, won't she?
Yeah, exactly. Probably. Maybe not. The Adrian Knox Stakes wraps it up, and a bit of a battle going.
Miss this race?
Sacred Eye, Alaskan Rose. We can do it very quickly. Buller Baby
why can we do it very quickly?
And Daisy's Joy because it's race 10.
Yeah, but no one likes anything in this race?
I found this is the hardest race of the day.
All right. Okay, Mark. The floor's yours. Sacred Eye leads them up.
Seems to have an air of confidence.
All that. And what do you say?
You like
I just I know these horses, so
Yeah. Okay. Go.
Hartlings is the only horse that's had 2 city runs recently, and is on a 7-day backup. Comes back from the Storm Queen, and gets a rider change as well. And Daisy's Joy went to a circuit that was just not going to help her at Gosford with the rail out.
Yep.
Prior to that, her 2 city runs were exactly what you would like for this race. So I'm looking there. I have a few honourable mentions in the race. The Sorceress, Shanachie, and that will do me. Alaskan Rose is too well found. I mean, she's priced as if she's
racing a lot better than
Yeah,
I've got a racing.
I couldn't get her near that price. Sacred Eye, I didn't like the fact that she's got the standout 59, where the rest of the field's basically.
Also, she went so
54
freaking bad the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, her 2 runs back are really, you know.
So yeah, I'm sort of away from those two. I didn't like the race at all. I landed on also that I'm a little bit intrigued by is a little loose. Mick Kent, like you mentioned before, he can do things a little bit different.
The weirder the better.
But you say that, like I've sort of got that in my mind, but then I looked at its preparation last campaign, and it was first up 1600 metres at a mile 1, and then straight up to 2000 metre Group 3 race, where it wasn't disgraced behind Dawny Perfect and Nesta. That was the ambience, a pretty similar bracketed race to this leading into the VRC Oaks, and she wasn't disgraced. Now, I thought her first up run was very good at Mooney Valley, and second up 2000 metres, Mick Kent coming to Sydney with a little bit of a target.
Yeah, right.
So sort of
Let's start for this type of race.
Need to find Kathy.
That was
that was a late addition. That's a Craig Williams.
That's a Craig Williams off, is it? Okay.
So, look, in a race where I didn't know where to turn, I was giving some sort of a little bit of a push to her at $11 or something.
I've no opinion. We'll do that.
And
Okay.
our man G Boss, how many rides has he got? Do we only talk about him in the next segment?
We probably can. Yeah, exactly. We will be talking about Glenn Boss in the next segment.
Has he only got 1 ride?
I can't remember calling any more.
Because
seeing
he's
any more.
not on Try for Terror in the last.
He's got 1 ride.
Yeah,
the
there it
Doncaster
is.
Mile.
Might be all he needs. We'll come back with the preview of Doncaster next.